Hello, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm Michelle with Stampin' Butterfly, and we have another night of fun crafting together. So tonight we'll be doing some card making, and today's class will feature, let me grab the stamp set, the Driving By stamp set. So this is an adorable stamp set you can earn for free during celebration with a qualifying order. And I'm going to share some different stamping techniques using this stamp set, as well as a bunch of samples at the end. So if you stay till the end, I'll show you some additional cards that you could make with these adorable stamps. And if you are here, drop me a hello. So let me check my comments real quick and make sure I'm in the right place. It looks like it is. Software doesn't show me who's here, so if you say hello in the event, then that's awesome, and I can tell that you're here. Welcome, Bob. Thanks for joining me. And hi, Hannah. See you there as well. All right, awesome. So I guess I am in the right place. So let's get started. Oh, you're peeking at my card. So let's take a look in the Sale-a-bration catalog. So for every $50 you spend or $100, you earn free celebration items. If you've been with me along the way, you probably know all this information, but I will share it for any of our newcomers. And so here are some samples. Love our catalog. Stampin' Up always gives you great samples. And at the end, I will show you this pink card. I made a variation of that myself. So I kind of cased copy and share is what that stands for. Copy and share everything. And I made a card very similar to this one. Kind of used it for my inspiration. So tonight we'll be using this stamp set. I'm going to teach you how to use blending brushes and to make a sunset, and then also some paper piecing. Although I used to call it paper dolls when it was on people, but since we're doing it on a car, that doesn't really work. Next week, we will be showcasing the Calming Camellia, and I have that one right here. It's beautiful stamp set. Love it. It's super easy to make cards with. The image does all the work. You can add a little bit of color and you are ready to go. So stay tuned for this week, and I will be sharing images of cards during the week on Facebook, and then again we'll meet on Sunday night, next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. And we will get together again, and I will probably teach you some whitewashing techniques with this stamp set, and we'll make 2 cards again. So let's get started. The fun part. All right, so we'll be making these 2 cards tonight, and I have this one in the invitation at the top. So you probably saw this one already. So we're gonna do, I changed up the colors a little bit for the background. I like to do that sometimes. And then same thing with this one, we're gonna make this card. And this is the little hippie van that is for my mom. So I'm sure she's going to like this one. So we're going to make this card. We're going to change up. I'm going to show you a different technique to use on the palm tree. And I think I changed up the card base to one slightly different green color. And I will share that with you. And then we can see which one we like better. So I think we'll start with this guy. This one has a little bit more cutting and whatnot, but I think this is the one we'll start with. So let's get our supplies out. We'll need some ink. I already did one van, so you don't have to keep watching me cut up different things. We have some paper. We're going to do a little bit of embossing. I'm going to show you how to emboss with the machine. And then the palm trees are actually from the Timeless Tropical stamp set. And this carried over in the annual catalog, so this is in the big catalog. If you have been looking at the new catalog, there's another palm tree set. Hi Heather, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you could make it. So this is the different palm tree. So this one has hibiscus and some other sentiments. So let's see. I did cut the little teeny flower. I did change the color for us. And some markers. And a little bit of stamping. So we're going to use the stamps and the dies from this one. I just like the size of that palm tree. It worked really well. I did order the other one, but it hasn't come yet, so we'll have to play with that later. You'll see in here, this one has some big pineapple in here in the top, so that's kind of fun. And then some dies to cut out the images. So Stampin' Up! Is famous for lots of dies to cut your images, so no fussy cutting needed. You just run it through your machine, and then there's some flowers, aloha, and some other fun leaves that you can die cut out. All right, so I think this is all we need from this one. And we already got our stuff from there. All right, so let's take a look. I think we'll do a little bit of stamping first, and then we'll do some die cutting. So we'll move some pieces over there and do a little inking. So anytime you're using your alcohol markers, it's always good to use your Memento ink. So that's what I stamped this little car on, the little VW bug or bus. And I already stamped it out once. We're going to do it on here too. So I need some thank you cards. So this one's going to be, instead of You've Got Style, which is a sentiment from this stamp set, this one's going to be All Thanks. So I'm just going to ink it up and stamp down. And I changed up the shape. You can see this one is like a scalloped rectangle, and then this one's just a regular rectangle. So did a little changing up. It's always fun to have a different look. All right, so where did I put my scratch of white paper? Here we are. We'll use this one. I don't know where it ended up. It's around somewhere. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to do some cutting first. I'm trying to decide which way I like to go. So we're going to do our little bug. Keep calling it a bug. That's the other one, the image in here. So we're going to ink it up and stamp it on our flowered paper. So this patterned paper is from the Host Pattern paper. It's a big, huge pack of paper that you can earn as a hostess with your Stampin' Rewards when you have a party. So that is where this paper comes from, and all the back sides are black and white, and then there's a lot of fun different colors and patterns in it. That's the name. All right, so we stamped on the patterned paper. I'm not sure if you could see that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking. So we're going to do a little trimming of that. We're going to get our super sharp scissors out, and we are just going to trim around the pieces we want. So I got to figure out where the wheel well is versus the wheel. Hopefully I get the right part. So we are just going to trim it into 2 pieces. So we're just trimming like right on the black line of the stamped image. And it'll just take a couple minutes to do some fussy cutting. I think I want the bumper there, so I'm going to trim that off. And I'm going to do the whole outside first, and then we'll do the top. Now, if you didn't want to trim the top, you could just do the bottom of the bus and then color the top with your markers. But I kind of like it with all the paper going on over there. So there we go. Move that out of the way. And then we're just going to cut straight across here at the bottom of the windows. And I'll show you what that looks like once I get done. So we can glue that on there, and we'll color in the bumper. But you'll see that's the bust. And we could color the roof and the crossbars if we wanted. But let's go ahead and trim out the windows while we're here, so we can leave the little door posts and just trim out the windows. So this does take a little more time. I'm not a super fan of fussy cutting, but when it comes to doing this little paper piecing, it's kind of cool. Like I said, I call it paper dolls when you're doing it like on a person that you've stamped and you're doing it for their little dresses. Then it feels like paper dolls when you do it that way. So, but the technical term, I think if you were trying to find it on YouTube, is probably paper piecing. And so tiny little pieces for my fingers. These are super sharp. I'm trying not to chop off my finger. All right. I'm glad you like the stamp set, Heather. It is fun. I've got some cute samples too. You can change them up and do different things with them. And it is nice to have something that isn't flower, although I'm putting flowers on the bus. But it's nice to have something that's not flowers, so you do have some guy stamp sets. Although this could be girls, you can make your bus pink or purple. All right, so we can do it like this and glue that down and then do the bottom. So let's move these crazy pointy scissors out of the way. Move those. Okay, so we'll put a little bit of glue and we're going to do a little coloring. So hopefully I have some markers. I'm going to steal them from my other project. Smoky Slate Dark. So I like to use the blends. Nope, that's not it. Somewhere in here. We have to color 2 cars, so we're using similar markers. Smoky Slate Light. So I like to do the bumpers and stuff with that. So there's a thick end and a skinny. So we're going to use the skinny end of the brush to do this. And we're just going to do the bumper The headlight, the other bumper. I think I trimmed that piece off, so we'll go with that. And then we're just going to color the tires. And you can do lots of fun shadowing. You can use that that white marker that I had pulled out, and that pulls off some color, so you can do some shadows and highlights. But we're just going to go simple. I'm going to do that. Maybe do the center of the tire in a darker smoky slate. Just keep it quick and easy. And then Pool Party is a really nice color to work with. So when you're looking at it, there's a skinny line and a fat line, so you know which side you're opening. And I'm just going to color the windows with the blue, with the Pool Party, which is like a really light Pool Party. Okay, it's one of my favorite colors for doing our alcohol marker coloring. Then let me get my liquid matte. So this silicone matte is good because I do make a mess using the liquid glue. So we're going to go ahead and use that. And whoa, glue's coming out. So we're just going to glue it up nice and do a little bit on this one. And that's quite a bit of glue that came out. So we'll see if it oozes out or if it cooperates. If not, we have that little rubber eraser. And once your glue dries, you can use that to peel off the excess glue if it sneaks out on you. All right. So there's the bottom of the van and the top. So that way you don't have to try to cut out the little circles. I just cut straight across. Otherwise you're like poking a hole and trying to cut the little rectangle out. And no one can tell with all that crazy pattern that you trimmed it there. So there's our little happy bus. All right, so let's do a little coloring of the palm trees. So the way I did this one, I stamped it in the Memento. So I did the black ink and then I used the alcohol markers to color it. But this time I'm going to show you a different way that you can use this stamp. So we do have, so there's two kinds of markers. We have the Stampin' Write markers and then the blends. And the blends are alcohol markers. They're good for really big areas. They don't show streaks and things. If you color a big area with these, you'll have ugly streaks. But for small stuff, it's good. And if you want to color one stamp with two colors, this works really well. So I'm using Old Olive. And again, it has a fat end and a skinny end. And then I'm going to do the tree trunk in Early Espresso. So you take your marker and you just run it sideways over your stamped image. Let me pick it up so I can see it in the light. And then you just kind of color it wherever you want the green to go. And so we'll give it the first round. And you could also do this with sponge daubers, or you could put a Post-it note if you wanted, and then just dunked it all in the ink pad. But the Stampin' Write markers are kind of cool for this technique. All right, so I think I've got a good bit of that ink on there. I'm going to switch to the dark brown and do the tree trunk. All right, and then what you do once you get it all inked up, because it's starting to dry, is you're going to breathe on it like ha. You make that noise. Okay, in this COVID environment, I don't recommend sharing your stamps and doing that, but when your own personal stamps, it's okay. So, and then, well, you'll breathe on it and then stamp down. And now you can see the trees are all green on the top and the stems are brown. So it has a different look. Let me see if I pick it up, you guys can tell. So it's definitely darker on this one. Now we could use our alcohol markers. I did bring soft suede and I thought, well, we could color them. Let's see how it looks. If we wanted that to be more solid, and just go a little ways down. And give it a little more color in there. So I wouldn't use the Early Espressos really dark, but the soft suede kind of gives the little bit of highlights. And then we're going to use our die cut machine to cut it out. All right. So if you wanted to get really fancy with your stamp and you wanted 2 tones of your green, you could take another marker once you were done and streak it. You could put this on your Stamparatus and stamp it the first time and then re-ink it with another color. Or you could even put it on a sponge dauber and like take a different shade of green and kind of go around the edges. So different ways to use your tools. It's always nice when you have multiple uses for things and then you remember how to use all your stuff. All right, let me clean the stamp real quick and we will glue this. So we're going to glue this together and then we're going to emboss this piece. So this paper is actually from the, it's beautiful something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in the annual catalog and it had like, you know, this has kind of green trees on it. It's almost like little evergreen trees. And then it has some fall paper and some Christmassy looking wood grain stuff. So I thought this would be kind of fun to run across because it gives you kind of a green background. So we're going to glue this on first. And then we're going to emboss the whole piece, which is different. So you can glue your patterned paper on your solid paper and then emboss everything through your embossing machine. In case I miss. And we're going to put it kind of in the middle-ish. Give it a good press down. And then you'll see I picked, I think this one's Pear Pizzazz. So for the card base on this one's Mossy Meadow, and it's a darker green. And then I went with the lighter one on this, just to give us a little bit of change up. We don't want to be boring and always do everything all the same. All right, so let's move these guys out of the way. I'm gonna get my little die cut machine out, and then we'll die cut this piece and emboss this one. All right. So when you're using your embossing machine, you want to use your plates, and if you have the mini, it's slightly different, so the numbering system is a little different, so you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to which ones you're using. So we'll die cut first. We need plate 1, plate 2, and then we make our sandwich with the plate 3s. All right, and I may grab a piece of washi tape to hold it down. That looks pretty good. All right. And if you have painter's tape, you can use painter's tape too to hold that down. Or if you have a different machine, you can use your magnetic plate. I did hear the new magnetic plate is coming out soon, so I'm super excited to be able to get that. So I will keep you posted when we see it coming out. All right, so there's our trees. And now we're going to emboss. So this one's a 3D embossing folder. I write it on there so I can remember. So we're going to take our plate 1 and then 3D uses plate 4 only. So we're going to take our cardstock, put it in our embossing folder. Some of them even have a line, although this is just kind of a random pattern. It's not really important. But you can try to line up your cardstock right there. And then you never want to put this on top because the rollers are going to roll over it. So you always want to make sure whatever you're cutting or embossing is underneath something else. And then that item is running through the machine. So we're going to run it through. That was pretty loud. Let's see. That looks good. All right, cool. Let's move all our stuff out of the way. So let's see if you can tell on here if I turn it in the light. So I used like a texture embossing folder, so it gives it all like texture across all your pieces of paper. Just gives it some more dimension. All right, so we're going to crease our cardstock, make sure it's mostly straight, and we're going to put the glue. Here we are. So we're just going to start gluing our panels down. Oh, that was close. Should have put my silicone mat up there. Where is that guy? I'll put him back here. All right. So, a little glue, but that's okay. So you kind of want to center it, and your liquid glue gives you some wiggle room, so that's always nice to have that option. All right. Then we're going to use some dimensionals. So you could really trim a skinny one to go under there, but I don't think that's worth it. They can just kind of dangle. So we're going to stick one here, and it'll be the dangling palm tree legs. And let me know if you guys have any questions on the card or the techniques too. So we're just going to line up the bottom kind of near the bottom there. Some more dimensionals because we love them. We're going to put those on a little van. And we'll set that running over here. And then we'll put this little sentiment across the top. Lots of dimensionals on this one, and then we'll be able to compare the two. I think we'll go over that a little bit. And our flower. We'll use a mini glue dot. If I have a gem, I'd probably add a gem later because I didn't bring any over for some reason. No gems on these cards. But the glue dot kind of shines through the middle, so you'd either want to keep that little centerpiece paper or put a gem over that, and I'll add that later because it's a little sticky spot. All right, so let's compare our two cards and see which one we like better. You guys will have to let me know. All right, so we have the original card. We used some Poppy Parade for the flower and did the darker trees and a darker card base. And then this one, we did, you can almost not even see it in the camera. So it's a lighter card base. We did the Mango Melody for the flower, and then we did the lighter colored trees. So those are our two cards. You'll have to let me know which one you like better. I think this one, the dark one, pops a little better. But everybody's different. It's to what you like. So there's card number 1. All right, card number 2. So for this one, I used some inspiration from the Horizons paper. Heather likes a dark one. Yeah, I do too. All right, so here is the Horizons paper, and it has all this beautiful watercoloring done for you. So I probably could have even just stuck the little car on there, but I wanted to make my own, and I wanted a road. So we're gonna change it up a little bit. So we're gonna make our own card like this. So let's see, where's the little card? I cut him out already. So he could technically just be driving on that paper, and it's a 6x6 piece. So you could cut it to whatever size you like. But I used this as my inspiration of what colors, because I couldn't decide what colors I wanted to use. And so that's kind of what I used to come up with my color ideas. The on the Horizon stamp set, which coordinates with that paper, we're using the trees from it and the birds to make our designs. So that's where those items come from. We're going to use some blending brushes, and then we're going to use Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, and Daffodil Delight for our sky. And then we have a lot of coloring, so I have a big pile of blend markers. And then here's our sentiment. So this is one of the dies from that coordinating stamp set, and we could do this cool little trees over here, but I kind of like the stamp image, so I think we'll stick with those. But I brought those along in case you wanted to see what some of the dies look like. All right. Let's see, where do we want to start? We have lots to do. I don't know if I want to color all those presents. I think we're going to chop them off. Makes it look like a birthday card, and I just want it to be a hello card. So we're just going to trim off. Oh, look, now it's just a regular card. Get rid of the presents. Now it doesn't look like a birthday card. All right. So there. Now I changed up some stuff again. Like I said, I always like to try to change things. So our base on this one is Misty Moonlight. Our base tonight we're using is the basic gray. And then this same party paper, I'm using the black and white. This one was like a grid, and this one almost looked like tire tracks kind of. So we're going to use that one for tonight on our card and use that as our background. So let's move those. We're going to do some coloring and stamping first. So let's go ahead and take our chalk marker. So we have these little chalk markers. They're just a few dollars, and they work great to give you highlights if you wanted little white highlights on things. You can use them in your flowers. And then I'm going to try to draw a straight line. So this is going to be our line for the road. And already I don't think I'm halfway. But that's okay. I don't think the guys when they paint the road do that great a job either. So we'll just keep going. Now if I really wanted to be precise, I could line it on the grid paper, put a ruler across. Although, hey, that looks pretty good. Okay, not too bad. Now it gets a little bit lighter, so if you decide you want your lines to be darker, like on this one, I went over a second time, so you could go back and do a second time on that. All right, so we're going to judge about where that goes. We need our black ink back, and we're going to stamp some trees and the sentiment. So, oh, here it is, I moved it. All right, so we're going to use the same sentiment on this one and the same little shape. So this little tag comes from the Hippo and Friends die cut set. And there's lots of great tags on there. Sometimes it's hard to find these smaller ones. Slightly crooked, but that's okay, it's handmade. It's all good. All right, it's not too bad. And let's see, so we have that done. Let's do our trees. Where are you? Okay, move our car. We have to color that. And then you could use your pencil if you had a pencil. Oh, I do have a pencil. Okay, so we can see about where the paper goes right here. So if we want to put our trees just above it. If you end up doing it wrong, you could always just make your piece of paper shorter and just chop off. You can move this up. Like if you put your trees too high, don't worry about that. We can always adjust things and trim it up a little bit. So we'll see how it goes and if we need to do trimming. All right, so I want to make sure we have a good amount of ink on these trees, and I'm going to put it just a little higher than the top. That way I have some room to put a little bit of green grass. All right, lid, there you are. Oh, we need some birds too, but I think we'll do our coloring first. We'll do our sunset, and then we'll come back and do the birds. So we'll set that on the side, do our blending. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Then we're going to give it some green. They look a little wet. And then what you'll have is this goes down here. So see my tree line's pretty high. So if I decide, ooh, that doesn't look good, we'll just move it up there and trim off that white piece. So it'll all be good. No worries. Okay, so that one looks pretty wet. It's taking a little bit to dry. All right, we'll color the car. So nothing fancy. I'm gonna do the tires the same, the bumper the same as the other car. Keep it quick and easy. You guys don't want to be here all night. So we're going to, and see, here's the bug. That's why I kept calling the other one. They're both VW, right? All right, so we are going to do that. Where is our pool party? There it is. Do the windows. You could do, some people do light gray. You could do light gray on the windows too. And then this is kind of dark. You can use that ink taker offer, like the remover. Do a little dark on the tire again. This time maybe we'll do the outside, like this middle circle thing. We'll do that one. That's pretty narrow though. Hopefully I stay in the lines. And then we can do Misty Moonlight for the car. I think we'll start with a dark. Ooh, that's really dark. Let's make that a shadow. Let's go with the light. Let's start with the light and then we can work to the dark. So you'll just color your car. And these do bleed a teeny bit, so when you're coloring, you don't want to get too close to the edge because it might peek out. And it's always good to leave a little white space. Hannah does a really good job coloring, so she did a great job on one of the cards I just saw with the jeans. So white space is good. You can do that. All right, trying to get in these tiny spots is a little challenging. Hope I'm not sticking my head in the camera. Gotta concentrate. Coloring on camera is challenging. I like smaller stuff. All right. Almost done with the car. It's almost like a blue purple. It's interesting. But the dark color just seemed really dark, so I would switch to this light one. And I could switch over to the wider brush for this bigger area, but since I already have this side open, we'll just go with it. And as it dries, it'll blend better. And you can even use this to kind of pull out the dark from the earlier marker we did and put in a second coat, and it blends really nice. So, all right. Now if we wanted to put a little highlights on there, we could use this color lifter marker and decide where we want the light to go. So, and if you let that go for a second, you'll see like the lighter spots coming up. All right, there's our tiny little car. We have lots of markers over here, so let's scooch those away. All right. Now we'll take our granny apple, and you could do old olive. Again, it just depends on what color you like. So we're going to do some of the grass line. Go across there. And then fill in the trees. So I think that one's well loved. Might be running out of juice. We'll go to the other tip. This one's juicier. So you can always tell which ones I use a lot. Any questions on coloring, let me know. All right, we are almost ready to move on to blending brushes. And let's see, how much more green do we need? That's pretty close. Let's use the dark a little bit. Ooh, that's really dark. So I think that looks good. And we can blend it again with the lighter color. So we'll just put another layer. And you can keep adding layers, just let them dry between so you don't tear up your paper. All right, I like those shadows. Let's see, do we go up high enough? And need a little in that corner. One more time, then we'll call it good. All right, perfect. Okay, so let's move on to our sun. So you just want to start with your lighter color. So since we're doing yellow at the top, we're using daffodil. And I have my blending brush. That is my yellow one, / orange. So I'm going to ink it up. Always take off, your biggest start is going to be a blob. So you want to try to start off the paper and then kind of roll onto it. And then try to keep it on your scratch paper. All right. And we'll do a little Calypso Coral. And this one's a really dark color, so just want to put a little. I could probably use a little more. And then I'm just going to run that through this section in the middle. Maybe I should have used the bigger paper for this one. I thought the small grid paper would work. I'm running out of space. And then you can blend them. So you can kind of use the orange and go over the yellow some. So you don't have a strict line on there. All right. And you can do extra layers. So depending on how bright and dark you want your sun, your coloring to be, you can put on extra layers. I think we're going to keep it light tonight though. Switch to the pink. So I don't like to wash all my blending brushes, so I just keep one for family color, so red and pink or one, and yellow, stuff like that. Now if we wanted to, the green is kind of okay, but let me grab a Post-it note. So if you didn't want to get it on the green grass, you can use a Post-it note to put across. I gotta look at this direction. So that way you are not getting it onto your grass. Handy dandy Post-its. All right, so now I can go with my pink. I can go crazy, bigger swirls. And blend it up. There you go. I think I want more pink. All right, that looks pretty good. Put this away. My hands aren't too bad. Sometimes you get a little inky doing that with the blending brushes. Peel up our Post-it notes. And we can glue down the roadway. And then we'll put the birds on. All right. So I thought this was kind of fun, being able to put a little road on the car. On the card. All right. Now let me make sure my birds are going the right direction. I think that's the right way. I'm gonna have my car about there. And we'll let the birds go here. And then we'll put our little sentiment there. Okay, I think that's all our stamping. So let me move some stuff out of the way. We're going to use some dimensionals, of course. What else would we be doing? More dimensional. Move some stuff out of the way. I can't find them. Okay. So I did have a good time with this stamp set, and I liked having the car option versus just flowers. Although don't get me wrong, I do love flowers. And yeah, no presents on this one. Let's see. We'll put our sentiment on here. And I'm looking forward to this week with playing with the Camellia stamp set. They are really fun to play with. I've got a couple cards made already. And they're just awesome to play with. Okay, so let's glue the rest of our card together. We could do some crazy pink if we wanted. Let's see. Could be like a pink car. That would work too. But we're just going to stick with this because I never have enough masculine cards. People are always asking. And I like the dark gray. It's a nice change. I haven't used this color in a while for card bases. All right. So those are kind of fun tire tracks, and they give it a totally different look because I'm going to cover it up with this. So if you look, it's only one like half stripe here, and then there's kind of zigzaggies here. So it comes out pretty cool. And glue those layers all flat. And try to make them straight-ish. Those lines are kind of zigzaggy too, so it makes it kind of weird to line up straight. All right, that's good for crooked cards, you can't tell. All right, so let's take a look at this. So this one is the dark gray, no presents, so there's no party going on that one. And then here is our, so this we did a lighter sunset, this one we did darker, and then we did a different colored card base with different black and white paper. So which card do you like better? And then we gave it more grass on this one. So you can see every time you stamp, things come out. Even though you're aiming for the same card, they always come out a little different. And you can rotate your stuff and get a totally different look from the same stamp set. So let's take a look at a few more samples I have, and then I'll share some more information with you on upcoming events and things. And we do have sneak peek for Paper Pumpkin for next month. So I will share that with you as well. So these are the two cards we just did tonight. Scooch our dimensionals. Here's another card I did, and this is kind of the love bug, and I have the heart paper from that same pack of paper. I guess I've been using it a lot. Actually, it's on all these cards, come to think of it. And again, we've got the aw thanks, and then I did some just, you know, markers behind there and some glitter. So did some paper piecing, and then I set it back here, and I don't think you can tell, but the black piece is, no, you can't really tell in the lighting. This is embossed, and it has our embossing folder that says thank you in a bunch of languages. So it goes really cute with that. Then I went with another black and white card. And this one is the picture of this dies where it cuts these zigzag rectangles out. And the stitched, the hippo dies that we used on this one, they also have these cute balloons and strings. So I was actually able to use some new stuff from there. And I have a paper pumpkin card I'm going to share this week that uses the little notches in there to make a gift card holder. So stay tuned for that. It'll be in my Lots of Pun video coming up this week. The birthday sentiment is from another Sale-a-bration stamp set. Let's see, which one is that? Since it had the balloons, it made me think birthday. So it's in the special moments, that happy birthday stamp set's in that guy. So, and I seem to like red cards because I have quite a few red cards coming up. That guy is going to be red, I think, in all my cards for some reason. And then on the inside, I went ahead and stamped the little balloons and colored them the same color as I did up here with my blends. And that's glittered too. I think you can see the shiny on the car. So I did some glitter pen on there. And then again, like I said, here it is red. So this is the one I cased from the catalog that was pink that I showed you earlier. And I did the similar layout. I just trimmed up my paper a little shorter. I like the white on the ends, and I went with more of masculine colors. And then I made a little treat box. So this was so much fun. Like we did today with the markers on the stamp, where you use the Stampin' Write markers. I used the black and I did not go over the balloons. So when I stamped that one, I only did the strings and then the base of the car. And then I die cut the little balloons. I made the hearts from the Sweet Talk Sweet and used that for the card. And then these are the little treat boxes and paper and ribbon that coordinate with that sweet. So you can put little Valentine treats in there. The only thing is I should have designed it so I don't have to untie the bow, because I could have done the bow this way. This way I have to untie it to put the candy in, so I hadn't thought of that. But it's okay. This ribbon tie is super easy compared to some of the other ones. So those are the fun projects I have to share with you tonight using this stamp set. I hope you had fun and you did learn some new techniques tonight. And want to share a couple things. So like I said, we have Paper Pumpkin coming up. So the subscription period is the 10th of each month. So if you like our all-inclusive kits, the next kit for February is going to be Safari Celebration. And it's going to be some fun colors. And we have 9 cards in that one with coordinating envelopes. And sentiments are going to be yay, fantastic, with some fun phrases. And they gave us a sneak that it's a safari-inspired shapes and patterns you'll go wild for. So, little sneak peek for next month for that one. If you are thinking of Paper Pumpkin and you want to do a prepaid subscription, now's a great time to do that. So instead of paying monthly, you can buy like a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. And then if you do like the 12-month, you save, I think you get 1 month free, and then I think you save a little bit of money on the 6-month as well. Plus you earn free celebration items. So if you've liked all the things I've been showing all week and you want to earn some of those, that's a quick and easy way to get those, because you would spend enough to earn between 2 and 4 $50 celebration and 1 or 2 $100 celebration, depending on how you split your picks. So keep that in mind. Also, we did get a notice just recently. Paper Pumpkin is going up a little bit each month due to shipping and raw materials and things like that. But it's still a great affordable stamp kit. You know, you get your stamps, your inks, all your cards. So still a great value for that. But starting in March, it will be going up a little bit. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you do buy the prepaid subscription, you'll lock in the earlier lower price. So that's a plus too. So something to consider. And then I have an upcoming card class. So registration is ending soon. It's February 10th. And I didn't bring my cards over. Sorry, guys. But the let me flip it back real quick. So my next card class to go features the Rainbow and Happiness bundle. And I've changed it up a little bit. We've added an extra add-on bonus class featuring the Amazing Silhouette stamp set, or you can substitute your own. And there's information. I'll put the link as well in this video once I'm done. But there's lots of information on it. I had to change it up a little bit this month because the dies for the Rainbow are back ordered. So the option 1 that I usually have as a bundle is not available right now, but you can order the stamps and then order the dies later. And since I give you free shipping and tax on those, you come out almost to the same price. So if you wanted to do option 2 instead with the rainbow stamps, and I'll have everything die cut, so you'll still be able to cut your projects and complete them like as I designed. So I hope you guys had fun tonight. And I've shared all these great projects. I don't know if anybody has a favorite card. I think if I had to pick, This one's my favorite. I like the black and white with the red card. If you've been enjoying all this stamping and you want to get a great value and build your crafting supply, we do have an awesome join special right now through the end of Sale-a-bration, which ends February 28th. So make sure you check out my page for that. It's on the join tab on my stampinbutterfly.stampinup.net that's at the top of the screen. But this month during Sale-a-bration, you'll be able to join for $99. You pick $125 of anything you want in the catalog. You have free shipping, and they're giving you 2 additional free stamp sets. Plus there's a paper pumpkin kit in there. You'll join a community of crafters, and we have so much fun. Our team, we do swaps and do events and team training and have prizes and stuff. So it's a lot of great fun. And if you're interested, let me know. I can help you with any of that information or if you have additional questions. But anyway, I appreciate you guys spending your Sunday night with me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great night. Thanks.